The concept of gross domestic product (GDP) as an economic indicator has a relevantly recent history, dating back only to probably 20th century. Here is a brief overview of history of GDP. Before the development of GDP, various methods were used to assess a nation's economic performance, but there was no standardized measure. Some early indicators included gross national product, which measured the total value of goods and services produced by a country's residents, regardless of their location. However, these measures lacked consistency and comprehensiveness. In the 1930s, economist Simon Kuznets made significant contributions to the development of GDP as a concept. He pioneered the idea of national income accounting and presented a report to the US Congress in the year 1934, outlining a comprehensive system for measuring a nation's income and output. Kuznets' work laid the groundwork for GDP as an essential economic indicator. During World War II, governments needed a reliable measure to assess their wartime economy's performance. GDP was adopted as a standardized measure to track the total value of goods and services produced within a country's borders during this period. It became a critical tool for evaluating a nation's war effort and economic performance. After World War II, GDP gained even more prominence as countries focused on post-war reconstruction and economic development. It became a vital tool for policymakers to assess economic growth, plan for development, and allocate resources effectively. In the following decades, GDP became the primary measure of a country's economic performance worldwide. International organizations such as United Nations and World Bank adopted GDP as a standard measure for comparing economic activity among different nations. Over time, criticisms of GDP as a sole indicator of economic progress emerged. Some economists argued that GDP does not consider the distribution of income, quality of life, environmental impacts, or the value of unpaid work, among other limitations. These critiques led to development of alternative indicators such as Human Development Index and Genuine Progress Indicator, aiming to provide a more comprehensive assessment of well-being and economic development. Despite its limitations, GDP remains a crucial tool for understanding the size and growth of an economy. It continues to be widely used by governments, policymakers, economists, and international organizations to assess economic performance and make informed decisions. However, ongoing decisions on the need for more holistic indicators underscore the evolving nature of economic measurement and the quest for more inclusive and sustainable measures of progress. To watch the subsequent parts of GDP series and more such interesting videos, subscribe our YouTube channel.